Get ready to dive deep into Buffalo's vibrant music scene because we're stepping inside the fabulous Flamingo Lounge for another 8th season of local music magic. In the Flamingo Lounge with Rockabilly Greg is more than just a podcast. It's a collection of stories that delves deep into the vibrant musical history of Buffalo and Western New York, creating a living archive where each story adds a unique thread to the overall narrative. This season, we're taking a deep dive into the heart of the music community. Join us for personal conversations with musicians and industry pros where we celebrate the collective creativity that makes our favorite artists, venues, and events so special. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, CatsLikeUs.com, Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, and valued supporter Buffalo Ironworks for helping to keep the music alive. This week's guest, Grace Lougen, is an accomplished award-winning guitarist and songwriter known for taking listeners on a journey with her intense, tasteful solos. Grace has toured the U.S. and Europe with award-winning bandleader Robert Parker and with another incredible local artist, Grace Stumberg. Grace has lent her talents to over a dozen records and worked as a guitar tech for Joan Baez and also worked for the Indigo Girls. In 2018, she co-founded the rock supergroup Grosh, whose current album, Start Again, was recently launched in March of 2025. It is my honor to welcome to the Flamingo Lounge Grace Lougen and her guitars.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
Oh, what an intro.
Yeah, it's so great to have you down here by yourself. Of course, you've been here a couple times with Grosh.
Yeah.
And recently I'm like, you know what, we got to get you guys separate and get you to tell your own stories because you've done a lot more, beyond the band. And although Grosh is a great band and nothing against that, but there's more to Grace Lougen, I think, than Grosh. So I want to know. And of course, it gives me an opportunity to get a private concert too. So this is great.
Well,
and we're going to try out an electric guitar for the first time down here. So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited. But as always, is tradition here in the Flamingo Lounge. And I discovered this when I had your bandmate Megan Brown down here. We never did the original aha question because you guys were actually my 4th episode when I first started. So back when I was a little newbie and just getting my feet wet in this whole game. And but I listened back and I'm like, I never asked that. So let's do it. So did you have an aha moment when you said, man, music's what I want to do?
Yeah, I think so. I always played music. My dad's a guitar player. He showed me, how to play guitar at a young age, and I played in church, and I played with my friends, and it was always just a thing we did, play soccer, then play music, just a part of growing up. And then I had a guitar teacher, a local guy, Don Petrino, and he had a band, the Black and Blues Band, and when I was 14, he invited me to come sit in with his band, and this was at was a place not far from here actually. It was called the Somerville Sports Bar, and they were playing till 1 a.m. It was loud,
Right.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I wasn't used to going to rock concerts or anything, and he let me get up there and play his guitar through a loud amp and playing with bass and drums and saxophones, and it was just immediately like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, from that moment on, I was like, yeah, more of this. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. So now, so kind of going back to, so when did you actually start those guitar lessons? Like what age?
Well, my dad always kind of taught me on and off, just,
Okay.
he taught me a lot of acoustic guitar, and then I really wanted to take some soloing lessons.
Right.
And it was when I was 14, there was a community education program in Kenmore, and Don Petrino was teaching a group lesson, and it was literally titled like Blues Solo Guitar.
Right.
And
Okay.
so it was exactly what I wanted to learn, and I took the class, and then I started taking one-on-one lessons with him. And I already knew, how to play. I just didn't really know how to solo. So
Right,
he
okay.
really, he really showed me all that stuff. And yeah, he was a very generous man. We unfortunately passed away a few months ago. But he was always super generous with his students, letting them
Right.
kind of get their feet wet. And it made a big difference for me. So
Right. Well,
yeah.
another Kenton resident.
Yeah.
There's something, I'll tell you. there's a pedigree or there's something here, that
For sure.
because there's so many folks that have come out of this area. Were you Ken East, Ken West?
Well, I was actually homeschooled.
Oh, okay.
I took my tests at Ken West, so that's where I would have gone. But Yeah, I went to like a tutor school for high school. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now, when you were developing that soloing style, is there a specific picking style? I've noticed a lot of guitar players do things a lot differently, and get their unique sound out of it. Which my hero guitar, Brian Setzer, of course, he scoops that pick up under his forefinger, and then picks and then goes back and it's like a hybrid, which I think is incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But what kind of, have you figured out anything that's kind of unique to yourself?
Yeah, I all throughout when I growing up, I played with a pick, and then I kind of started trying to do a little hybrid thing where I could insert some finger picking stuff, and then when I started playing out a lot, playing restaurants, I first started playing like duos and trios where we had to be quiet.
Okay.
And I just felt like I had more control without the pick because
Okay.
we had to play that quiet. And so I
Right.
was like playing with my fingers. And something about it was just felt really natural to me. And I just really liked it. And so and then also I kept forgetting my picks,
Okay.
losing
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't have a pick tonight. I might as well just play with my fingers.
Right.
And that's honestly how it started. And so now I rarely touch a pick. It's all pretty much finger style.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you use your fingernails, or is it just the balls of your fingers?
I mean, when we're playing like rock stuff, I definitely kind of use my fingernails more to kind of mimic a pick sound.
Okay,
But when
yeah.
I'm taking a solo, it's very plucky. Like I'll just
Okay.
kind of grab the strings, I guess,
Right.
with my right hand. Yeah.
Yeah, because I recently saw an interview with Paul Simon. I mean, he looks like he could take someone out with those fingernails. I mean, they're like massive,
Yeah.
but
No, I don't. Fortunately, my style does not mean I have to keep my fingernails long or perfect
Right.
because
Yeah.
I could never. That's so much attention to it,
Yeah.
So I keep my fingernails short and I just like pluck with my fingertips. So
Now, is there a certain type of guitar playing that is like, that's what you like? Like, I'm a rockabilly guy, right?
Yeah.
So I love the twang. I love how that sings. But
I mean, I really like listening to all different kinds. I grew up really thinking rock guitar was super cool. Listening to Led Zeppelin with my dad. And
yeah,
my cousin got me into Steve Vai, who's like a shredder, and
Right,
I was
yeah.
like, "Wow, this is awesome!"
Mhm.
And then when I started taking lessons, he showed me all the blues guys. I'd never heard Stevie Ray Vaughan before. I was
Right.
14, and I was like, "Wow, this guy's incredible!"
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the style that really, got to me was the specifically Stevie Ray Vaughan, but then also B.B. King, also Buddy Guy, all the blues guys,
Right. Yeah.
and then I got really into the Allman Brothers too. I went to see the Allman Brothers with my dad when I was a teenager, and I didn't think I really knew the Allman Brothers, and then I knew all the songs because
Right.
we listened to the radio together, whatever.
Sure.
And I guess I guess I did. I didn't. So and then I learned to play all that stuff, and so it's great. So, I mean, my favorite current guitar player, as most people know, is Derek Trucks. I think he's, my favorite. I just love that it's so different, his
Right.
style. He's kind of influenced by Indian sitar stuff, and it puts a really interesting flair on, the rocks, blues, soul
Right.
stuff. So that's something that I very much enjoy. But all of it really is
Right.
good for different reasons,
Now, when you kind of attack a song, are you thinking of a specific genre? Or are you just thinking this'll work here, this kind of style or this methodology of playing the guitar? That's going to work with the song.
Like learning a song.
Yeah, or when you're creating a song, as I know, you guys, at Grosh have written a lot of stuff, and it's like, yeah, this kind of might be a little bit more of a country rock, or it might be a little bit more of a classic rock, or it's just because
Yeah,
you seem to dance around those styles with
definitely do.
with ease,
Well, thank you.
which
I think when I'm writing, I think when I'm learning a song or learning, maybe playing along with a band. Oftentimes I'll sit in with a band or where I don't really know the songs and I'm coming up with parts on the fly, or I'm learning them last minute because they asked me,
Right.
last minute or whatever. And so if I'm learning songs and I'm coming up with parts, I will definitely try to, cater to what style I think they're going for, and do my best to come up with, oh, this is a funk song. Let's think 2-note little funk part, or that
Right.
kind of a
Yeah.
thing. I really do my best to do that. If it's a song that I'm writing, I think the fun of it being mine is seeing how I can make it not what I or anybody would maybe expect, like twist it a little bit,
Sure.
Which
Yeah.
sometimes is like, then you get a weird song and it's like, wow, what really is genre is this? It's kind of over the place. But
Yeah.
I think it always works out because I'm heavily influenced by, I don't know, rock and blues. And,
Right,
so
yeah.
it kind of comes out a version of that, I'm sure,
Yeah.
But I definitely like to, if I'm writing a song and I go to this chord or I go to this part, I think, well, how about I don't do that? I try something completely different and just see what happens.
Right. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
kind of asked that because it just seems like the lines between genres have just all blurred now. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it matters as much as it used to. I was just talking to someone. I said, it seems like that was just something that was done for radio.
Yeah.
So they could pigeonhole you and get you on the country station or on the classic rock station, or, and why, Buddy Holly wasn't considered classic rock. I'll never, or the Beatles. I mean, I know they're pop and people argue all the time, are they rock or they pop? Who cares, right?
Yeah.
It's all music and it's all different sounds and everyone's doing something different with it and trying to experiment and come up with something that's their own, right? So
Yeah. I do think that Dave Miller wrote a really good song. I don't know if you've had him down here yet. Okay. I'll have to
Yep,
listen
they
back
have.
to
Yep.
that one. He's a great guy. And an amazing songwriter. He's got like 1 million songs. But he wrote this one. It's all the blues to you, or wait, it's all the blues to me, I think. Boy, I hope that's how it is. Yeah. But the point is kind of, and I really resonated with the song because I came kind of from that blues scene. And when I started my own band and we started kind of trying new original songs, and I was trying to write some rock songs, and I would play the same places and they'd be like, that was good, but that wasn't blues, And
Right.
I'm like, well, I never said it was blues,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
people expected it to all be, in that blues
Right.
thing. And Dave Miller has run into that too, because he really puts some gospel and some soul in,
Yeah.
And I think people really can still get kind of caught up in like, hey, this is a blues festival. It should be all like very, you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. Like, I don't know. It's all got to sound a little different, right? I don't
Right.
know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me. I just watched the Bob Dylan documentary, right? And I think
saw
he was
that,
one of the festivals there, and I think when he went electric, or he was trying some new stuff, and they're like, you got to play blue, you got to play folk, Bob. You got to play folk, and he's just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to keep playing that, right? I want to experiment. I want to reach out. I want to, and as an artist, that's got to be hard though, because once you start to develop yourself, people are expecting, okay, this is what I expect from Grace. And then all of a sudden you play something different and they're like, what happened?
Right.
Of course you play that long enough, and then a year down the road, they're like, okay, why didn't you play that one? Cause
Yeah.
people need to get used to you. I think, it's like, they want to go, especially around here. They want to go. They want to sing along. They just want to.
Definitely.
you know.
Yeah, I think it definitely still. I mean, even Grosh has a few records out, and some people would be like, that first record though, that really is my favorite, and it's like, that's cool to hear that. But as an artist, you think that like, if you put, it's always like about the newest thing because you're the most passionate about it. So
Right,
it'd be
yeah.
like, oh man, you didn't like it as much as the first record. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that kind of thing sometimes.
Well, of course, what's the sophomore curse, right? I mean, someone
Yeah.
brings out a great first record, then it's like, oh man. But I think it's interesting when people are creating music. It's like you want to, because people know too when you're just redoing like the first record, just with some different songs, with some different lyrics, same thing. It's like, okay. And I can imagine as an artist, you're like, why would I want to do that?
Right, yeah. I
I
don't
want to
think
keep
anybody
progressing.
does.
You want
Yeah.
to keep doing something new, and
Absolutely.
some of it might resonate, some of it might not. So what?
Yeah.
Then don't buy the record, right? I love all your records, to be honest with you. So they're well, and I think it's fun. I mean, it's like for me. I mean, I love rockabilly, but after a while, it all starts to sound the same. They're all kind of playing the same
Yeah.
things with some different lyrics to it. And it's, and I think that's why like psychobilly and different versions of rockabilly started to happen, because people are like, all right, we've been there and done that. So
Right, exactly.
let's, when Stray Cats did come out, that was like, oh my gosh, this is like Buddy Holly and the Crickets on steroids. It's good stuff. But then they do it for so long, and it's like, okay, now we got to do something a little different, or else we're gonna sound the same. And I can't imagine touring for 20-25 years playing the same song over and over and over and over.
Me neither. But I mean, if you have a hit, I'm sure you just got to keep playing that.
If you've got that hit, well,
Yeah.
and I've mentioned a couple times recently on the podcast that I saw Norah Jones last summer,
Yeah.
and of course she played I Don't Know Why, but she changed it up,
Cool.
which was cool. It's you still knew what the song was,
Yes.
but she had a different arrangement to it that made it, I think, new for her. It was familiar enough for the audience to know, okay, I know what the song is and I know what the lyrics are. But it was a different rendition, and I thought that's really, that's fun. To me, that's fun. It's like, you don't want to hear the same, or someone does, a song that you've heard on the record live, and they do it different.
I love that. I mean, if you want to hear the record version, play the record.
Exactly.
But going to see a concert gives you that special, moment. I think that's really cool.
Exactly. Well, and especially if you goof up too on stage, it's like, oh, I meant to do that.
That's true.
And then then you take it somewhere different, and it's like, okay, we'll get back in a minute. Just follow me, guys, right?
Yeah.
And
Josh and I have a new joke that we've been that like we don't make mistakes, and if one of us messes something up, it's like, oh well, that was a new arrangement. I wasn't expecting that,
Yeah.
or that chord sounded very jazzy, or
right, yeah, yeah.
There's no such thing as mistakes.
Right. Now, do you still study different styles of music, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm very interested in, what would they call it? Like fingerstyle guitar, but where you play like the chord melody, stuff at the same time.
Right.
The bass line and the chord melody. So usually around this time, which I really should get to it, I like to work out a Christmas song or something, but I'll listen to the Christmas song and then I'll figure out the chords and then figure out how to do the bass line at the same time. And it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite acoustic guitar player in that style is 100% Tommy Emmanuel. I think he's a great entertainer. Also, I've seen him many times.
Right.
But he's just a genius at arranging songs.
Mm-hmm.
He writes his own songs too, of course. But the songs, hearing like a big one is he does a lot of Beatles songs, or he does Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and he does this beautiful rendition where he does these cool finger tapping like harmonics.
Right.
It's beautiful. And so that kind of stuff is just such a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I get something down, it's really cool to have that, So that's something that I do for me, I would say.
Yeah.
But eventually I'd like to be able to do a whole gig of fingerstyle.
Sure.
Like Jamie Holka does that, and it's incredible. Someday that'd be cool.
I know, it's like, for me, I've recently found some folks that are doing stuff like that, and especially Mother Maybelle Carter with her Carter scratch, right? She was playing with her thumb up top, and she was playing the melody, so she's playing the bass on top and she's playing the melody on the bottom, back in the 30s, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
And God bless you, Mother Maybelle, just killing it, right? And because of course all the good stuff came from the female guitar players, and I hate to use that term, but I mean, come on, I mean, Sister Rosetta.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah. All the guys were taking stuff from her. I mean, you look at the stuff and it's like, that was Sister Rosetta Tharpe. I remember going into Revolver Records a few years back, and I'm talking to Phil McNamara there at Revolver. I says, I just discovered this great guitar player, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and he's like, I'm not familiar with her, and because I was looking for a record, and he happened to have one. He says, oh, so he pulled it up and he says, oh, I've heard that before. He says, yeah, but she was playing that in 1945. And he's like, oh, before anyone else was doing it, and and then like, I love talking about Carl Perkins. He had talked about how there was one of those specials. I think he was playing with like George Harrison and a couple other guys. He's like, yeah, I wanted that echo and that sound, and I didn't realize they were doing that in the studio, and they had things to make that. So he was just doing it on the guitar and figuring out how to make that sound. So he developed this whole style of playing, and I'm thinking, of course, I forget her name, but an old time woman, and she played lefty and she played upside down, so she had it strung. So she played with her thumb on the top on the high strings, and was using the fingers on the low strings, and it's such a cool sound. And oh gosh, it was a train song, and they're like, yeah, everyone's recorded this song, but I just get so enamored. And she's like, I just picked up the guitar. She played it flat. She says, because I had to look at the strings, and I didn't have a lefty guitar. I just kind of plopped it over, and that's how I figured it out. I just figured it out. No one gave me lessons. If it sounded good to me, I played it. And it's like, that's incredible, you know, to be able to do that. So nuts. I don't know where I'm going with that, cool. But it's just, it's just, you know, fun stuff to figure out on the guitar. So I'll kind of use that a little bit of a segue to have you pick up one of your guitars. I don't care which one it is, and play a little something for us. Of course, you got your Gibson SG there. I know that's your favorite.
Yeah, this is my baby.
Yep.
So
was that your first guitar? Or your last guitar?
my last guitar. I had a Fender Squier Strat when I was first taking lessons on electric. Mm-hmm. And well, actually, my first guitar though, I always had an acoustic. My dad bought one for my sister, and then it became mine when I was around. And I really wanted an electric guitar of my own, and I was about 8, I think, and there was one in the music store, Kenmore Music.
Okay, yeah.
And it was this bright red. It was a little, I think it was probably a Squier, Strat, bright red. And I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. It was $125, and I said I would save up. I had an allowance, and I did I don't know, extra chores probably, and some different things, and so I saved up $125, and my parents took me to the store to buy the guitar, and it was gone.
Oh, yeah.
I was so sad. And the guy over there, Jay.
Jay, yeah. I took lessons over there for a while, yeah.
Jay's the man. I ended up working over there. He's my first boss besides, music things. But
right.
He's a really good guy. But he was like, well, we have this other, small scale guitar, electric guitar. It's super solid. It's just as good. And it was like it was a plain black. I don't even know what the model was. It was kind of some off-brand, but it was $40, so I had all this extra money, to buy some picks and an amp or something. I don't know if I even spent it, but so I still went home with a guitar, and that was my first guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
But I ended up buying this one when I was 15, so it's been my baby ever since.
Yeah. How many guitars do you have?
Not that many. I have 4 SGs, one just like this, but not,
Right, yeah.
But supposedly it's the same. And then there's another one from the 80s that a friend of mine actually gave to me. It's an awesome SG. And then one that my friend Butch actually made me.
Oh, cool.
Which is very cool. He modeled it after the Fool, it was called, SG guitar that Eric Clapton had back in the Derek and the Dominoes days. So it's real pretty. It's got like a painting thing on it.
Oh, cool.
So those are my electrics. Oh, and a Les Paul. I have a Les Paul. And then I've got an acoustic, and a backup acoustic that's trash, and I need a new acoustic because my acoustic is kind of starting to cave in. So
yeah. Now, don't you also have a double neck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I do. Yes, I have a double neck. It's a Chipson, we like to call it.
Yeah.
Not a real Gibson, but it does say it is. And Mark, Mark Umford, he unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
But he did all my work on all my guitars since I've,
Right.
been playing.
Yeah.
And he really, when I got that guitar, somebody gave it to me, and it was kind of a mess. All the electronics inside were all messed up. And he called Gibson and had them send him like a map of like how it should be wired.
Oh, no kidding.
And he spent so much time on that thing getting it to work, but now it does. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
it sings. I'll tell you, that's a nice guitar.
Yeah, the 12 string on that sounds really good, and it stays in tune somehow. So.
Because of course you use that one for your Led Zeppelin shows, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have my buddy that I sing with? We went to see Simon and Garfunkel back in the 2000s, and he was like, because every time Paul Simon would sing a song, he'd do a guitar, and a guy would come out with a fresh guitar. He says, "I want a guitar guy. I want someone to bring a freshly tuned guitar, And of course, he's probably got different tunings on, the different guitars and everything for different songs. But he's like, I want one. I want one of those.
That's awesome.
So I can't remember. We played something with the Hall of Fame, and I asked Tom Lorenz. I told Steve, I said, bring both guitars. And I said, Tom, I want you to be Steve's guitar guy, because I think it was for his 50th birthday or something like that. So I said, for your 50th birthday, I'm giving you a guitar guy. He's like, oh, this is so cool. I feel
That's
like
awesome.
real. So
Yeah.
I mean, when you do a show, do you bring more than one guitar, or do you pretty much use the same guitar the whole show?
Well, I usually just have one, and then if it's like a far away from my house or something, I usually bring a backup in case something weird happened to my actual guitar, you know. But normally I do just play one. However, there are becoming, it's cool, you write a song in a different tuning, and it's like, wow, this is really interesting. But then when you have to play it live, you're going to sit there and tune,
Yeah.
So I am trying not to be so lazy, and the last gig we played last week, I actually brought my acoustic and 2 electrics, which for me is a lot to bring to one show.
Right.
But it was cool, it really, and then we could play the songs that we don't usually play, and broke it up with an acoustic song. So it's cool. So I'm going to start bringing more guitars, but normally no.
There you go. And you brought 2 down today, so which is great. Got the electric and the acoustic.
I'm turning over a new leaf.
There you go. You heard it here first, kids.
Yeah. You can hold me to it now.
Yeah. So now what are you going to play for us?
I don't know. Can I sing too?
Of course you can.
Full song for
can
me?
you? Of course you can sing.
Well, in that case, I think I'll play a song that is not recorded. It's nowhere.
Yay. I love when people come down here and give me exclusives.
Yeah, it's a song that I wrote for a band a long time ago, and they were like, nah. And I was like, well, I think it's a good song, so I keep playing it. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of old. Wrote it quite a while ago, but I've just been bringing it back and playing it at gigs here and there once in a while lately. So it's called, actually doesn't really have a name, but I suppose it could be called maybe Calm the Storm or something. It's about when you know you're not the right person for this person that you like.
Gotcha.
And you're like, well, I wish I could be there and do all the things that you need, but I can't. You know? Yep. I'm not the right person. But I hope that person comes along for you, because you're pretty special. So that's basically what this song is.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
So, all right. If our eyes are the windows to the soul, and mine you'd find a mirror, because my sight is lost in yours. I want your pain to be over, because I see you hurting, even though you smile. And will bear your burden for a little while. The mountain, the creek, the street, all get peace inside of me. And your gaze, it can compare with this stream. Oh, but it's bittersweet, because I see you hurting, even though you smile. And I will bear your burden for a little while. I want to calm the water, yeah. I want to stop this storm. I want to calm the water. Ooh, I want to stop this storm. But I'm not your answer, babe. I'm not your answer, babe. There's no way I could save you. No, I'm not your answer, babe. I can only hope and pray that one will come who come to calm the water, yeah. Come and stop this storm. Come and calm the water, yeah. Come and stop this storm. Come and calm the water, yeah. Come and stop this storm. Come and calm the water. But I'm not your answer, babe. No, I'm not your answer, baby.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, that was
Thank you.
a little jazzy, a little bluesy. I love
Well,
it.
you know.
Yeah. That's kind of vocally a little Bonnie Raitt style, kind of. No slide, but little bit of everything. You know, I yeah. Boy, that was nice. And thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's yeah, I appreciate that. That was wow. That's I want to just keep doing this all night. Screw that. You know, screw you're not going home. Forget about it. I'm gonna hold you down here. I'm down in the dungeon.
Sounds good.
But,
I like it down here.
Yeah, it's it's a fun place, happy place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a nice glass of whiskey.
There you go. And we got lots more. So
Lots of time.
yeah, we. I was gonna ask you, like, when did you start developing your vocal performance?
You know, I gotta give a lot of credit to that also for to Don Petrino for starting me off on that. He was like insisting that I sing, and I was like not into it, very
Right.
shy,
Yeah.
didn't want any part of it, you know. But he was like, no, like you gotta sing, just you can play so much more, you're so much more useful to a band, if you can
Right.
sing. And so I was like, all right, and I was very reluctant, and would sing just a little bit. And and then it was a very like kind of a personal thing, like I just felt very self-conscious about it. And really only in the last few years have I started to be like more confident, not really like cocky,
Right.
not like, oh, I can
Mm-hmm.
hold my own with all these singers,
Right.
but like just I think because I just feel like I've grown a lot in myself, in my personal, like feeling comfortable in my own skin,
Mm-hmm.
that singing is not scary to me
Right.
anymore. I mean, it's scary if I don't know the song or something,
Yeah.
If there's
Yeah.
a reason to be nervous, I always say, people say, are you nervous? I'm like, if there's a reason to be,
Sure. Yeah.
But now I'm just like, well, I'm not perfect. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like an amazing singer, but I'm just going to do my best and whatever.
No.
And since that mentality, I feel like I've gotten a lot better already.
Right.
And I have a person I want to start taking some lessons from,
Mm-hmm.
and just work on it more, because it's my passion is guitar, and it's always going to be, but singing
Mm-hmm.
is cool, and I want to be able to at least be a good backup singer.
Sure.
I think that there's a lot of value to that. So
Yeah. Well, I think you did pretty good in the front just now.
Well, thank you.
I really do. I mean, that was really good. And, and I know you're up there on stage with Megan, and, she's a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And, we talked about, being a front person, and, there's different, because,
Sure.
I mean, I've seen you perform, and you're not a typical guitar player where you're just,
Thank you.
going up,
Yeah.
you're understated. I mean, you're playing your buns off. I mean, which is awesome. But I mean, when you play, and you could tell, because, your mannerisms and your facial expressions and everything, you can tell you're into it, but you're not like going right out there and saying, okay, I'm going to do a guitar solo, and it's, if you do a solo, it's because it's part of the gig. It's not because you're trying to show off. So,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty cool, especially for someone who's got your chops,
Yeah, I think confidence is cool. Like I'll step to the front and I'll take a solo,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that, obviously. But no, I think also like the way that I approach solos is, like I very much wanted to add and to say something,
Mm-hmm.
and as I started learning how to do solos, and feel like I was getting better at them and stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what made me want to also get into songwriting, is because it's
Right.
basically like taking a guitar solo but then adding all the other elements.
Sure.
Because that's what I was trying to do with a solo. Why not just expand it? So now I definitely still try to see a solo as part of the song, or if I get a really long solo, which I really like, then
Right.
I can still do my complete own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and there's a very fine line between being confident and being arrogant, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that I'm in sales, and it's like, if you've got that swagger because you're doing well and you're just confident in yourself,
Yeah.
people really dig that. But when you take it a little too far and you're like braggadocious and you got that arrogance going, it's like, you could be the best guitar player in the world. It's like, I don't care about,
Yeah.
no one has time for that, right? So there's a balance. And as you said, it takes you time to figure out, up on stage and how you do that, and when you're playing with a bunch of folks. And
Yeah.
so I remember I used to go down to, I grew up in Fredonia, and would go down to the Blues Fest every year with my brother, God rest his soul. We used to have so much fun. And I remember one time Freight Train was playing in the park, and you were playing with Freight Train. And I said, we got to go. I says, you got to go. I said, I'm telling you. He's like, oh, I want to go see this band. I always go see these guys. I'm like, trust me on this one. And he went, and he was just mesmerized. He's like, first of all, I've never seen a bass player like front a band. God love Freight Train. I mean,
Yeah.
man,
Oh,
he's
he's great.
awesome. And then you were back there just doing your thing. And when I say back there, you were back there.
Mhm.
You were playing lead guitar, but you weren't. It's almost like you were the bass player, really, just kind of in the shadows, kind of
Yeah.
doing your thing. But it's like, holy moly. And,
Well, I gotta say, because people did they were always like, "You're so shy. You should come forward more." But I gotta stand up for myself a little bit with that because when we played with Freight Train, we were a loud band, so loud that I would find a pocket of solace on the stage and I would stay there because if I got in up front and heard like the scream of what was going on,
Gotcha.
it was too much for me at the time anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So but I was also shy, you know, it wasn't like quite that, but I will say that playing with Freight Train was the first time I felt like I was like, yeah, I'm a guitar player.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of when I finally was feeling it, you know?
Right.
For sure. He got me out of my shell. Definitely.
And you were no old fogey at the time either. You were pretty young, early 20s, I would say, right?
Yeah, I think I joined playing with him when I was 20 because I remember he was playing a lot of casinos and I couldn't play those yet. So he was like, "What's your birthday? Can we book dates like right after that?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I was 20.
Yeah. Now you're a go-to call, right? I mean, pretty much if people need a guitar player.
I mean, I stay
Your
pretty
first
busy.
call?
I'm very grateful for, you know, being able to play as much as I do. I play, you know, usually 5 times a week or 6 times. It depends, you know. In the summer, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Slows down a little bit now, but really not slow ever. So that's nice.
And this is what your gig is, right? You're a musician.
Yeah.
You're not waiting tables or anything like that.
No, I mean, you know, occasionally I'll do some odd jobs, but honestly, it's all music. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I was I didn't realize this happened during COVID, which shame on me, but I had Danusha and Dave down here, and you guys did, what was the garden sessions or
music garden
garden? Yeah. I
That was
listened to
fun.
there's a song that you did with Grace Stumberg, which I listen to that all the time. I love it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know. You know, one of those things. It's like I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of how those came out.
Yeah,
honestly.
that was some really cool stuff, and you know during COVID, because I know we were all bouncing off the walls, you know, wondering what are we going to do, and of course you couldn't really do stuff. I tried doing stuff with my buddy online, but the latency with the computer just killed it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if someone can figure out that latency problem, they'll make a fortune.
So much.
Yeah. And I don't think that's ever going to happen because you got.
Yeah, I mean, how could it exactly?
I don't know if that ever could be.
They'll figure it out. I don't know. I think that there's got to be some formula that makes it seem on your end, even if there's latency, that maybe it could come in a second later. Or,
Sure.
I don't know. They'll figure it out one day. I believe
Yeah.
in them. Them being the mysterious people that just come up with all this bizarre technology.
Yeah, because my buddy and I we were trying to sing Simon Art because we do Simon and Garfunkel and stuff, and we're trying to sing that together, and he's like, it's not working.
Oh no, Pat Harrington and I were always trying to come up with harmonies for the Allman Brothers shows. And we'd do it on Skype, and it was kind of a nightmare.
Yeah,
to play them together, you know.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of getting away from myself, but like what bands have you actually been part of? You've been part of a lot of different bands.
Yeah. Well, the Black and Blues Band, you know, was the first in the trio, and then I played with Grace Stumberg when I was 18. I think I started playing with her, and that was a big deal. We played a lot, and I played in Freight Train, of course. I started playing in an Allman Brothers tribute band, Big Martha, which I still play with. We play a few times a year, and obviously Grosh. I started my own band also when I was 18 or 19, and it was called Grace Lougen and the Leftover Pancakes. And it was with me and my 2 best friends from growing up. We grew up just playing together, bass player and a drummer, and also our my other best friend Linnea, she played viola. So I was like, let's do something crazy different. Just play viola, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And she also sang. She was a great singer. So we were just kind of, we played a few years, you know, and played a bunch of gigs around and stuff. And besides that, you know, I played with a lot of people, you know, other bands like, I don't know. I played with Bob James a lot in the early years, and the Growlers, a lot of blues bands, Jeremy Keys, you know, all the blues guys.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Buffalo definitely does a lot of, if somebody can't make the gig, there's, other people they can
Sure.
call and it's okay, because there's a lot of mutual, obviously mutual friends, but I was going to say mutual songs or styles that,
Sure.
we
Yeah.
kind of mix and match is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I've sat in with a lot of bands, but I'd say those bands that I mentioned were the ones that I played in,
Right. Yeah.
I'd say this is my band,
Yeah. And a kind of a new gig you got going is the Buffalo Bound with Bobby
Yes.
LaBelle and Sue
Right.
Kincaid and Jack Culp. I mean,
That's turning into a thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Elton. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
There's what 7, 8 pieces up
It's
there.
a
on
big
stage?
band, yeah. 8 sounds right. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's I haven't gotten a chance to get out and see. I will, and
It's fun. Bobby
'cause-
LaBelle it's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
He's awesome. So,
yeah, the first time I ever saw him play, it's like I became a big fan, and
yeah.
he tried to teach me. God bless him, but I just didn't put the time in, and I just I guess I'm just not a guitar. But I will say, learning guitar, and like I said, I did go to Kenmore Music, and Andrew was the guy.
He was my teacher for a while.
Was
too.
he? Okay.
Yes.
Because I remember I went in and I said, yeah, I want to play guitar like Brian Setzer. And he's like, oh, that Seltzer guy from Stray Cats. And the next week he came back. He's like, yeah, that guy can play. I says, I know. He says, you might want to try something a little bit less complicated than that to start because he can really play,
Yeah, he's very good.
So I started with Johnny Cash. So it's
Nice.
little easier to play, but kind of got there, and didn't put enough time into it, but it helped my vocals, So
Yeah.
that was a big thing for me, is I could learn
Yeah.
a little bit more about, okay, this is where you need to be, and this is if you can't get up high, this is where you can get down a little lower and pull it back, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay. So it all works,
Yeah,
and
it works
now
together.
my guitars are artifacts. So, I mean, that one over
Well, you
there
got
on
some
the
cool
wall that I
ones.
got signed by The Road and by Talus when they did a reunion show, that was my first guitar from
Wow.
Kenmore Music. It was a Silvertone. And the funny thing was I had it I forgot to take it out of the car one day after a lesson, and I went back in and it got really super cold, and I brought it into Kenmore Music, and it cracked right down the finish cracked, and it sounded better. I'm like, wow. Jay's
Wow.
like, man, that sounds great. And I'm like, it cracked. The finish cracked. He says, oh, something, because it's only like it's $100 guitar, $110 guitar. It's not any. It's good enough to learn on, but I'm like, yeah. And then and now I just have everyone sign them. So whatever.
That's cool, though.
But yeah, one of these days. But you never know. Now going between acoustic and electric guitar, do you have a different approach to the two different instruments?
Yeah. Electric is a lot easier for me. An electric gig, usually, because acoustic, I'm the whole thing.
Mhm.
Like electric means there's something else happening. Like another, generally I wouldn't play a solo gig on electric guitar.
Okay.
Not that it can't be done. I just
Mhm.
don't do that usually. And so I'm playing parts, I'm playing little leads, I'm, just kind of doing all that. But when I play acoustic, I'm trying to hold down, the rhythm and the low end. I kind of add, like, I usually hit the guitar with my hand sometimes,
Sure.
and I'll try to keep, like, the groove going at all times, even if they're like, Grace, take a solo, I don't want the groove to fall away and it to just be something silly,
Sure.
So I try to make as much noise as I can as possible,
Yeah.
and I'm hitting it hard. And honestly, sometimes I get a little too excited and the next day I'm kind of sore, like my hands are sore, and I'm
Yeah.
like, man, and then I play a electric guitar gig and I'm like, oh, this is so much easier. And, I would like to maybe, I have been playing more fingerstyle songs, and not that those aren't hard, they are, but once I get them, like, I know, once I get them down, I have them down pretty much, and it's, but when I'm just kind of playing, like, trying to play a funk song on acoustic guitar or
Right.
something, I'm, like, slapping the crap out of this guitar,
Mhm.
like, and so that's, it's really fun. I love playing both. But yeah, I would say it's a lot harder. It's a much different approach than I play electric. Yeah.
Would you encourage people that are starting to start on an acoustic because it's harder? Or is it better to go on electric because you maybe get that feel of accomplishment first?
You know, I don't know what the right answer is with that. I haven't thought about that until recently, when I was teaching some lessons to some beginners, and I was like, oh yeah, this was a thing when I was a kid, is starting and having the calluses, you know?
Right, yeah.
And my dad's answer for that was buying me a and he still has it, he still plays it, a nylon string acoustic. So it was still an acoustic guitar, you know, but the strings were a lot easier on your hands.
Yeah.
And so that was a cool, you know, thing. But of course, not everybody could just buy another guitar if their main goal is to play acoustic or electric.
Right.
I think that either way is okay, honestly, because acoustic for learning is really nice to be able to learn how to strum and stuff with a nice acoustic. Electric is fine for that, but I do kind of think starting where you can get the rhythm down and all that stuff on acoustic is definitely valuable. So I don't know exactly that I would recommend one over the other. Like if somebody really wanted to just learn electric guitar because they wanted to play something specific like rock and roll or whatever, play electric guitar, you know? But if you're not sure exactly what you're going to do with guitar and you want to strum around the campfire, get an acoustic guitar, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
It's I guess what you're saying is all personal preference, right? What you want to play.
There's so many things you can do with a guitar, you know?
Right.
And so many different kinds. Just I think that whatever seems to speak to the person to get them to want to play is the only way to do it. You know, if you don't want to play, then you're not going to play. Yeah.
And on that note, would you recommend people learning tablature or learning how to read the chords?
I would say, like you mean like a chord sheet? I would say chord sheet, but that might be biased because that's what I learned. I use tabs for like, if I still use tabs once in a while if I can't come up with like a specific chord voicing, like if it's a weird chord, I'm like, what is that note? I might look at a tab or something and be like, oh, you know. But generally I think it's more useful because it's faster. You can just jot down, you know, the chord names. But I've never seen a reason necessarily, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I don't quite see the reason to start with notation on guitar. I think there are some teachers that really push that with like kids, and maybe it's really good. I don't really know. Maybe they know exactly what they're doing. But I just didn't do that as a kid, and I think that if I did, it would have really turned me off. Because it still turns me off. And I force myself to, like, I'm still working on getting my reading notation chops up to par, because I don't use it enough. But that's something that I work on now because I love what I do, whereas if I was a kid, I just wanted to strum some chords and play some songs with my friends.
That's right.
You know?
You want to play a song.
So when I teach a kid, it depends though, because I did have a kid, sorry, I'm kind of going off on different tangents here. But when I was teaching briefly, I'm not currently teaching one-on-one lessons, but for a little while I was, and I had a kid that was very cerebral, that I found that explaining it in notation, like showing her the beats and, you know, how you would teach like a piano player or something, was really helpful for her, because that was kind of the only way she would get it. But then there was another student that, you know, most of my students just wanted to have fun, you know. So it kind of depends on the person too, I guess. I
had a friend that I used to work with. She was a piano player and a harp player. And she said to me one time, she says, boy, I really envy you. I was like, what do you mean you envy me? She says, because you can play by ear, you know, or you can sing by ear. You just hear it and sing it. I said, but you can read the notes. I said, I envy you because you can read the notes.
Two different things.
Yeah. And she says, but you don't understand. She says, I can't play anything unless I got the sheet music in front of me. I have to have the sheet music.
Yeah.
And then I can play, and she was fabulous. I said, isn't that wild that we both want to be each other? You know? That, and I think there's something to be said. And of course, I always marvel at the fact that Glenn Campbell was a studio musician, but he couldn't read a note.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
But he just, okay, this is how it goes, and would play it and interpret it and make it fabulous. It's like, you suck, but it's wild. And then there are people that are very, very technical with it. And that's what speaks to them, and that's how they do it, and they know it. And, and, because I've kind of wanted to be able to do that, because I want to be able to pick out harmonies, so when I do sing, it's like I have to learn the harmony right now. So I have to, my buddy Steve records it for me, and then I listen to it and sing it until I've sang it until it's in my head. And then once it's in my head, God help you, it's never going out. So don't try to tell me to do it differently, because he's always like, you sing your part, just sing your part, and I'll do my thing. And then, like you said, going off on tangents, God bless you guys. You and Megan one time invited me up to sing a couple tunes. And
yeah.
I know I killed one of them, but hey, whatever. But we did all right,
That's cool.
And I think that says a lot about everybody here in town. It's like, hey, you play, come on up,
Yeah.
No one's afraid to like give up the stage, if you will. Everyone's just so giving, and it's like, we're all here to have fun. We're all here to have a good time.
Definitely.
Let's just sing. Let's just play. And I think when that kind of camaraderie and that happens just organically too, that's when there's that lightning in a bottle moment, right? Where it's just like, wow, this is so cool. I've had those moments where it's like, it'll never happen again. That one time was just like, wow, this was really, really something special.
Yeah, that's the best.
Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour. We haven't played your acoustic yet.
Oh, okay.
So we got to get some acoustic stuff going here.
All right, let's see here. Gee, should I do? Let's see. Well, let's see. The other song that I played was kind of a slower song.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll play another Grace Lougen song, but so this one is recorded,
Mm-hmm.
And I recorded it a long time ago, and it was kind of a learning experience for me. I had just gotten out of college, I think, or maybe I was still in college. I don't know, and I did all the things myself, the recording and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
I brought in well, excuse me, that's misleading. I didn't do the recording myself.
Mm-hmm.
I did I put it all together, I guess is what I'm trying to say,
Okay.
which sounds easy, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Not always.
Right.
I was figuring out how it all worked. Is what
So
I'm
you
trying to
arranged
say.
it. You did all the arrangement.
I just had the people, the band, and I brought in some players, so it was my band that backed me up, and then I had Dave Miller come and sing the lead, because I really like writing songs and having some singer come in and slay it.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. Like I wrote a song for Grosh. I love writing songs for Grosh and being like, and then in this part, Megan, just do that Megan thing,
Right.
the thing that puts the goosebumps on my arm, and she's like, oh, like this? I'm like, yeah, perfect.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's really fun. But anyways, this is called Made a Mess, and it's out there in the world somewhere on all the platforms as Made a Mess, by Grace Lougen featuring David Michael Miller.
There you go.
beginning. Yeah. But somehow everything you do stays the same. This heart is like a home that you've left behind. The grass is long, the paint is wet, 'cause you're always gone. And my love is rusted over, yeah. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands, never gave nothing back. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands, never gave nothing back. Jesus said to forgive you 500 times. That's where this one feels like number 499. I'm here to love you, 'cause I've been loved myself. But you treat me like an angel would, and then you shoot me down. You said we would be closer, yeah. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands and never gave nothing back. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands and never gave nothing back. Took my heart in both your hands and never gave nothing back. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands, never gave nothing back. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands, never gave nothing back. You made a mess of me, and then you left. Took my heart in both your hands and never gave nothing back.
Nice. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, I feel very honored to get a private show down here. So this is great.
Yeah, thanks for letting me bring my guitars.
Really enjoying this. This is a treat. So I'm glad my buddy Scott Reynolds taught me into buying this new interface so I could record some music, which is...
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, where can people find what you're doing and where you're playing?
Well, gracelougen.com.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I put everything. My schedule, I'm very good about keeping it updated a couple months out. I usually try. Mm-hmm. And I just put all the places I'm playing, all the people I'm playing with on there. And yeah, so that's the place.
Cool. Yeah. Not much of a social media person, or?
Well, I was gonna say, or check social media. But that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I usually post weekly where I'm playing, and monthly I'll post. So you can check for updates. I am gonna start taking that a little bit more serious because I'm realizing that it's important.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
And I've been running the Grosh social media.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm getting the hang of that, so I can actually move on and do both now.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Yeah.
So I suppose, you can also look me up on Instagram and Facebook
There you go.
because I'm going to start doing better right now. So there you go.
Well, and you and Josh are doing some funny videos.
Well, we're trying. We're just having fun with it.
Were you two guys kind of elected to do that, or did you just say, let's do some, because you're doing some funny stuff. And of course, I mean, Josh is Josh. I mean, my gosh, him on social media, it's like, give him the hook.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Josh and I usually meet like once a week to go over band things, and so that gives us plenty of time to come up with some goofy stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, Grace, I can't thank you enough. We could go all night. I'd love to have you play more songs and stuff, but we'll leave everybody wanting more showmanship, right?
Yeah.
And so for everyone who's tuned in, I hope you've had just as much fun as we have. And of course, you can always find the podcast where you get your podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, thebuffalohive.com. And of course, you can always find the podcast at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. And I was going to ask you, I forgot to ask you, have you ever played it with a rockabilly band?
No, I don't think just straight rockabilly.
Mm-hmm.
I played with a band that did a lot of rockabilly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of the band, but we played some casinos and stuff.
Right.
And it was really fun.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Because I'm sure you could kill it. Yeah.
Those players are really good.
Yeah.
That's its own thing.
Well, rockabilly's jazz, really. I mean, you think about it, when they started rockabilly, those guys were all jazz musicians, right? And this new thing was coming about, and they were adding the R&B, they were adding gospel, they were adding stuff to it. Yeah, speeding it up.
Yeah.
And doing some cool stuff. So I digress. But again, thanks for everyone for listening. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. In the Flamingo Lounge is made possible in part by CatsLikeUs.com, your online store for authentic vintage clothing and accessories. Buffalo Ironworks, an intimate live music venue and bar located in the Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo. And by Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, Western New York's premier golf course, restaurant, and banquet facility. At the Hawk, the bar is hopping year-round with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And some other nights, too. Tune in for a new episode every Saturday at 9 a.m. EST at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. Bark, Zoe, bark. Good girl.